Okay, in this video I'm going to show you how to take a 3DS that has been disassembled and show you how to put it back together again. So, if you watched the video where I took this apart, you'll see that we were left in this state. So now I want to show you how to assemble it, essentially. Which will probably take a little bit more time. I guess assembling usually takes a bit longer than it is to take it apart. Okay, so I believe the last thing we did in the last video was to take the shoulder buttons off. So let's do that first, and then we could just not worry about this. First thing is we have these square metal pieces. We need to put those in these locations. There's two on each side, two on the left and then two on the right. They're easy to see where you're supposed to place them because it's square shaped. Oops. Tweezers are useful in this case. Okay, so we have that. Now we have the actual shoulder button here, which is attached to this ribbon cable. This is the left side, this one is the right side. The left side is going to have a longer ribbon cable, and you just put it in this. There you go. It goes like that. And also the right hand side. Make sure the button is facing out. That should be obvious. Hopefully. There we go. Okay, now we want to actually put the shoulder buttons on. We first need to put these little metal barrels in these holes here, and the tweezer is really useful for this part. So this is the left button, and you take one of the springs, put it on the round bit here, and then insert it. There we go. Make sure that should stay nicely, and do the same thing for the right hand side. Oops, okay. Make sure the spring is in there. And should be fine with that. Now we want to put these little covers on. This ensures that everything stays in place. This one is the left hand side, this is the right hand side. This is what they look like. And if you don't know, it's easy because this one won't fit on this side. It'll only fit. I mean, they made this pretty clear, so it's kind of hard to put something in the wrong spot. Just like that. You will do the same for this side. It's really be careful with the ribbon cables. They can get in the way. It has to go right here. This, or is it like, it should be like this. cable to really come through that piece. Should be like that, more or less. Okay, so that's that. Let's put the screws in the left-hand side. There's 3. There's one right here, just to secure it in place. There's 2. It kind of is underneath the ribbon. Well, this on the side. And the third one will go lift up the cable and goes right there. There we go. Now on the other side, there's one right here. Actually, I think we got to put this on first, because here, actually got to put this on before I put this metal piece on. Kind of like a puzzle, so this piece goes like this, there. I'm not sure what this sticky part is, but it was on there. Now it's off. It's okay. Just not worry about too much about it. Okay, now we put this on. Now we can put the screws in. Not that one. If it doesn't screw in, this probably doesn't go there. Got one on the bottom here. There should be one right here in the middle. It's hard to see where I'm sitting. And I think that's really it. I think these screws are, maybe try putting one in. I forgot actually if one goes in here or not. Suppose so. Okay. This should be, it's right. Okay, and then we gotta put this guy on here. And first we want to put in the door, which is simply just nothing to it, then this goes on top. Then you add a few screws to put on here as well. 3, I believe. Two. 3. There we go. Now we have this bottom piece all ready to go. Okay, so that's the bottom part. Now we can set this aside, and now the main unit, the first thing we want to put together is the top screen. So here is the top screen frame. We want to put that down. Let's get everything else kind of out of the way. Need some room here. And here is the top screen. So you can see it has the camera attached. This is glued on the back here. We don't really need to take it off. But if you have a camera that's not attached to it, there should be, so you have the ribbon cable, that's the top screen ribbon cable, and you have the camera ribbon cable. The camera ribbon cable should be on the outside. If you're going to twist this around, which we will in a minute, it should be on the outside. The camera cable is the black cable, and it should be on the outside, not on the inside, the outside. Okay. You'll see why once we're later on down the road. So the first thing is just to lay it down flat like this, and we also need the speaker. These are the speakers, and these speakers are very magnetic. You know, they have stronger magnets than in previous the DS's, I've noticed. Okay, this is what it looks like. And it also has a ribbon cable here, which we also will need to roll up in order to fit through this little area here, which is going to suck because this is the part that takes the longest and is one of the most. It's very critical that you take your time on this part. Don't rush it. Because it's very easy to tear these ribbon cables, and if you tear these ribbon cables, then the device will not work. Okay, so we have to take extra caution here, and also with this one, because this one has the speakers attached to it. If you don't care about sound, then that's one thing, but most people do. Alright, so how do we do this? Okay, so we also have this barrel here, which we'll need. Metal barrel, which fits into here. We'll need that. Not right now. Okay. Okay, so before we actually put it together, it's a good idea to know how these pieces fit. So okay, to have a plan of how to put it together. So as you can see, this top screen will fit in here like this. Now we're going to first have these ribbon cables, we're going to feed them through here, but this is just to show you how. And then this guy, this speaker goes over here, and then this has a spot for it right in there somewhere. And this speaker as well needs to be facing up like this. And then this board here actually gets connected, which we will in a bit, to the top screen. Then it has like little notches where you can see where that fits in. Then this ribbon cable, which is the speaker ribbon cable, wraps around these other two. So, you know, last time I was saying that the black cable, which is the camera cable, wraps around the this inside cable, which is the top screen cable. The speaker cable wraps around all of them, both of them. So speaker cable should be on the outside. I put this together before where I had the speaker cable on the inside, and it won't work like that. So make sure speaker cable is on the outside, and it's above all the other cables here, not underneath these cables, above it. Alright, so the reason we do this, because it kind of makes it easier, because there's so many pieces, it's hard to know what to do. So just put the speakers, because they're magnetic, onto the back here, and then just kind of turn all this over. because the first thing we need to do is feed these 3 ribbon cables through this tiny little hole here, which is it's hard, it's time consuming. I mean, don't rush this part, like I said before. Just take your time, and it's because you don't want to rip the cables. So what you do is you roll, just set this down so you don't have to hold it, and then roll up the cables as tightly as you can. Keep tightly as you can. So I kind of roll these 2 up here, and then I kind of roll up the speaker cables separately because it's longer. And these usually feed that through the hole first, but keeping in mind that it has to stay on the outside. These other cables have to be inside. I might stop the video because I don't want to waste time. Let's see if I could just do this real quick. Never fasten this part. Let's feed this through. Screw it. I'm gonna stop the video. And then I'll do it just so you know. That's really the technique. You're just gonna have to fiddle with it, find the best way. Just know the points that I made were about the ribbon cables. Just keep those in mind. Okay, so I was fiddling with it for a bit, and I realized it's a lot easier to feed in the speaker cable first. Feed in the speaker cable first, and then lay it down. Kind of, hold it down like that. And also put in the metal barrel. Feed that in as well, and then worry about the other 2 ribbon cables. And we'll just roll these up together as tightly as we can, and then feed them through above the other cable. Kind of just push them through. Like I said, don't use too much. Maybe tweezers would help. Try not to pinch too hard with the tweezers though, because they can rip the ribbon cables as well. Come on. Right. And there you go. We have all the ribbon cables through. 2, 3. This should be okay. There, that's the, like I said, that's the should be the most time consuming part, because you really got to be careful with those ribbon cables. The rest shouldn't be too hard. Now I want to put this pad here. This is just a dampener for the speaker. Now before I flip this over, we want to put in this wire. You just want to feed it through the center of these cables. And this will go in the top corner here, or bottom corner here, depending on how you're looking at it. And you just kind of, there's these little notches here that hold the wire in place. And just kind of, I just use something like a toothpick or this flathead to kind of just push it down into this little groove here. There we go. Now with that, we can flip this over, put it in place, put the speakers in their respective spots. This has little notches where it shows you where it's supposed to go, right there. This also controls the 3D, because this what this little slider thing is. Where's my, there's, that's what this little slider thing is. This is what controls the 3D effect. Okay, put this in, and there we go. And I think I was offline when I connected this to the top screen, but there are two tiny little ribbon cables coming off the top screen that you need to connect into this little board here. So, and then this cable, you just push it down into this little compartment and it'll stay. Okay, that's really it right there. Oh, also, now I was going to say, now we just need to fit it through. Before we could put the top lid on, we need to feed it through this bottom portion first. So the first thing is to feed the wire through. Feed it through. And then the speaker cable. I mean, there's this little notch, not notch, but what do you call it? Slit here that you feed everything. Makes it easier that you don't have to roll it up again, and just kind of pull through. I mean, this is a little annoying. Be careful in this part too. Anytime you're dealing with these ribbon cables, be careful with them. You kind of want to angle these cables. Makes it kind of hook them in there. There we go. And yeah, hold on to them and pull it through. Then you could slide it through this chamber. Yeah, damn it, okay. Okay, and things might fall off. As long as it's in there, okay. It's in there, so we're good. We can put this stuff back. Yeah, these things are really magnetic. Okay. Now to lock it in place, this is where we have this. Just push it through like that. It's locked in place. Good to go. Now we can put the lid on, but before we do that, we want to put the slider. This is the slider for the 3D effect. You want to put it on before you put on the lid. I've made the mistake of putting on the lid prior to that, and so before we put it on, just make sure everything's in place, everything looks good. It does, from what I can tell. I'm not missing anything. Okay, we can put this on, and we just snaps back in the back here. open it up. It should snap. And then we just put the 8 screws back in. The 8 screws. There are these. Not the long ones. They're the black screws, not the long black screws. Those are for the outside. But the short ones, there should be 8. 3. Where are they? There's another one. There's 4. There's 5. Where'd they all go? These are all the outside screws. Missing 3. These are all the outside ones. Okay, so I was looking for, I was missing 3 of the small black screws. I went back to my previous video that I made, because yeah, even now, it's kind of hard to, when I was putting this together, I accidentally put those 3 black screws in here. These are supposed to be the screws that go up in here. There's 1, these 2. And the 3rd one. Because there, that's 8. And then here is supposed to have the silver screws. This just shows that I'm not as familiar with this as I am with the DS Lite, but I would like to be more, need to practice more on this. So there should be 4 in here, because there needs to be 4 silver screws left. Okay. There we go. Put this back. And this is good to go. We got the ribbon cables coming through. The long one, the speaker one, is on the outside, as it should be. Now we're going to take the wire and we're going to, feed it all the way around. Use something to push it down as you do that. Finger. Now, this. Get in there. Okay, and then it should just have it hanging right there on that side. Make sure it's in this little slot too. Okay. Next step is to just put in the buttons. This is easy part. And these buttons, they have notches to ensure that they can only go in one of the spots, so you can't accidentally put them in the wrong spot. But if you've done this enough, you know the X always goes on top. Then put on the button pads. There's that one, there's this one. Getting close there. The other one, here's black. Okay. And do not forget to put this in. If you forget, it's pain. Okay. And this covers it. Like that. Okay, that should be good. Get this. Okay, now we want to connect these ribbon cables here to the motherboard, which this is another difficult part. Oops, I forgot I had that attached. To do it, I found the best way is to hold this in my right hand and with my fingers kind of hold this cable back and this one, and try to just hold this between your fingers. I have to bring this close to me because it's hard to. And with this bottom screen facing you, you see where this cable goes. Now you want to push it in all the way till it's flush. Ah, come on. I had it. These cables, they don't give you much room to hold them. It was kind of hard. But this is the most difficult cable to put in. And I had it. Okay, I think I got it. Push it in, make sure it's flush, then put the notch down. The plastic locks it in place. Make sure it's straight. If it's not, hold on. And okay, so now make sure everything's in place. We're going to flip it down. Hold this cable. Put that on. Okay. Okay, now we want to attach the next ribbon cable, which is this one, not the speaker, the camera cable. We want to attach in here. This is actually kind of hard too because there's nothing to really, kind of just have to feed it in. It's not really easy. No. I'm not sure what kind of tips I can give here other than try to, I just use a small flathead screwdriver to help me try to catch on to something to help me feed it in, because okay, there we go. Now once it's flush, Push that tab down to lock it in place. And inspect it, make sure it's good to go, and it's probably good enough for our purposes, but I'd probably try to push it a little bit more on this side. Let's look again. Yep, that's better. Okay, this one goes in on the side here. And when you put it in, you want it has two sides, right? It has a shiny side and the side with the pad, like a rubber pad. You want that to be facing, rubber pad facing down, shiny side facing up. I mean, it should naturally bend that way. And this cable is a lot easier to push in. And you just push it down. Okay, let's put in the screws. The 4 silver screws on this side to secure the motherboard in place. Okay, now over here we want to lift this up, try not to lift up too much, and then you want to put that in place, push it down, and then let's put in those screws. Should be 2 of these long ones. Okay. Alright, looking good. Now for this one, you want to put in this cable, attach it to the bottom, and then it attaches here, which is it's easy, and then put this guy back into this little area. Okay. Again, I'm not sure what that is. I don't know what all these... I mean, you don't have to know what all these pieces do in order to take it apart, but it might be helpful. This guy came off. And it's kind of a pain because you got to bend him all the way back like that. There he goes. Touch him. Now for... Oops. This guy, we want to insert the cable first. Come on. It's kind of hard to... You can't really get your fingers in there. You know, it's kind of flimsy. You want to... Otherwise, the thumbstick won't work. This is the thumbstick part. Another... Okay. Oops. Ouch. Now this part, make sure you... gets... Oh, wait. Ah. See, this is another thing I always mess up on. Oh, yeah. Gonna take these screws out again because on this side I always forget this. So carefully lift this up because this guy, this is, I guess, this is another switch here. You need him to be on this side of this little... There. See? That's all I had to do. Always get it wrong. I have to adjust it. Put the screws back in. almost done. Okay, so let's put this black thing on. I guess it just makes it easier to move this thing around. Put this back on, and then this is the one long silver one. You should have two. Put one there. The other one would go on this corner, but I don't have them. I don't know where it is. And then we'll put this guy in place. This guy's kind of hard to stay in place. It just connects to, this is the volume switch. Make sure it's there. Okay. Now we can attach the bottom portion. So we do that by just attaching these cables first, so we can use the shoulder buttons, and you really just need to push them in. There we go. And just make sure this is in just like that, and then we want to just flip it over. And put in the screws. Forgot how many there were, but there's a lot. One. Come on, it's hard to. Three. Hopefully I'm not missing anything because I hate to get to this spot and realize that I forgot something. But everything's laid out here, so I don't see anything. Just two more, we're good to go. Where is it? Ah. One, there's. Two. Okay, now we can put the battery back in. Put this guy back and screw it in. The screw too. Okay, let's put this guy in the slot. I usually do this last because I don't know. I don't want to. Let's put these guys on first. I found it easier to put these on first. There's one. There's a second one over here. Now we can line them up. Normally, before you put this on, you want to clean the top screen and the bottom side of this, but I will not right now. I'll do that later. I don't have my cleaning supplies right here. And there we go. I mean, we're not missing or having any extra pieces, so we're So we're good to go. And turns on. As you can see, maybe you can't because the screens are dim. The problem with this 3DS is that the screens are dim. It's not the problem with the screens, it's a problem with the motherboard. As you can see, everything should work. Yeah. Good to go. Hope that helps and hope you enjoyed it.